If four things are followed, having a great aim, acquiring knowledge, hard work, and perseverance, then anything can be achieved. APJ Abdul Kalam. My friends, Mr. Kalam is so right. Aim, knowledge, hard work, perseverance. I think the most important there is the perseverance. Stick with this. You can do it 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. That is all we ask. If you do much more than that, you're just in up to your nose 4 or 5 hours a day, or think you can do it all on a Sunday. It isn't going to work that way, folks. Just stick with it a little bit of time each and every day. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. Same here. Let's jump into these charts. We see everything up for the day but Bitcoin pulling back. Let's jump first into the S&P 500, but hang on, before we do that, our Patreon members receive up to 20 weekly vertical crossovers every week. Those are stocks on the S&P 500 that we cull for you. We go through weekly vertical crossovers, which is where the weekly candle is going from red to green or green to red. We also check out the volume. And of course, we make suggestions to you for potential practice trading. Well, we did that last week, and actually we shared a couple with just the general folks that listen to the channel, not just the Patreon members. Again, we'll throw out one every now and then. Well, we threw out two. One was Gen Digital, and of course, it was a great jumping in point. You might say, why did we choose this one? Well, we chose it because we saw high volume after price discovery was finding a bottom right here, and things are really taking off. And of course, they took off again up this week. Jumping in point, the worst place you could have gotten in on Friday afternoon would have been a high of 1935. And of course, so far this week up $1.07 per share to 2042. So again, weekly vertical crossovers. This is the whole essence of what we teach. You want to have plenty of those? Become a Patreon member at any of the 3 levels. You get that every week. Another one I'll share with you that we covered last week was AAL. And again, one of those meme stocks. But interesting because we saw something happening there. Again, we saw high volume where it was finding a bottom, a spinning top with higher than average volume, then took off last week and up this week. Now again, don't promise that everything's going to work. We're not seeing the volume yet up to the average, but hopefully it's going to do that. But been a decent week anyway. So, and again, look at this chart where you have such clean, look at that. When it goes green, it stays. When it goes red, it stays red. So great long and short opportunities. Very, very few fake outs. Now we get back a ways in time. We see some in this time period, but it cleaned up and got beautiful. And remember, how long do you trade a chart? As long as it works, my friends. And you want plenty of opportunities, become a Patreon member. Each and every week, we will share those with you. We have 10 this week, and I'm going to share one with all of you, something for you to look at. Again, we don't give investment advice. We're an education firm. But here's an interesting one for you. Medtechtronic. Look at it. We had all of this volume as it was finding a bottom. Look at that volume last week with a red doji. This week, moving up. So something for you to look at. We're already above average volume on Thursday. So might be something for you to look at practice trading this next week. Again, apply everything you know and get better and better each and every week. So just thought I'd share those with you. Again, special things we do for our Patreon members who we appreciate the most, who underwrite the cost of the channel. Now let's jump into the S&P 500, up 0.12% for the day. We see on the 2-day chart pulling away from the weekly trend line. We can see on the half-day chart where it's getting to where it's topping a little bit. It looks like now it could be doing what it did here where it gained some energy and then shot up again. We will pay attention. This latest 2-day candle will finish drawing tomorrow. We can see where this prior candle representing Tuesday, Wednesday was a nice big one. and then slowing down here on Thursday. But a decent week so far. We'll see if we hit the average volume, which we definitely want to do, or higher. And wondering though, are we going to find any kind of ceiling at these prior areas where the market stopped and turned over? We are in this area right now. You can see back on where we topped on August the 28th, the week beginning then. We've got another area up here, several dollars higher where we topped off earlier. So we pay attention to those kind of things because they can provide ceilings to us. Now let's look at the NASDAQ 100. What do we see going on there? Up just a little bit, 0.09% again. We can see where yesterday afternoon, that was Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning and afternoon, slowing down. 2-day chart not reaching a higher high. Again, nicely above the weekly trend line. Weekly chart, decent candle. Volume's a little higher than we saw before. We'll see than we saw, I believe, on the S&P. Yes. And we'll see if we get up to the average. So that's where we are on our 2 stock indices. By the way, Patreon members, your 3-wave trades and your charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies are uploaded at the Patreon page, and we'll be sending those out tonight to you with the weekly vertical crossovers. I was talking about, when you ever see a purple line on our chart, they're always prior ceilings or floors. You can see where bonds punched up multiple times and ran off. Now, again, we're wondering, we found a bottom here, wondering how long this is going to go up. Nice for the day, 1.24%. You can see we're well above the weekly trend line on the half day and the 2-day. Let's try to draw that a little bit tighter. I don't like these almost flat trend lines. Didn't change anything as to the position. Our candles are nicely above. But again, we will keep an eye on things. Look at all that volume for the Tuesday, Wednesday. And again, only the first day into this latest 2-day candle. We'll see if it jumps up to the average volume too. We're already at average volume for the week, which is nice. Still 1 day to go. So bonds moving in the right direction. That's TLT. Let's look at gold. Now gold, again, moved over, going down. We saw it, break its trend line. Not much of an uptrend. We can see where we almost covered this entire move just in the candlestick, or at least the wick that first week. Slowed down and rolled over. We've broken on the 2-day chart, we've broken that weekly trend line. On the half day also, that occurred in the morning on Thursday, pulling back a little in the afternoon, but nonetheless up 1.13%. We'll pay attention and see how the week finishes. Are we going to get up to average volume here? Things going to sink back below the trend line? Let's just watch, because what do we see on the dojis? Well, the candlesticks here. Not quite dojis, spinning tops, red. Indecision is what that is telling us. So let's see which way gold is going to go. Lastly, Bitcoin. Of course, we had 3 prior weeks of nice Bitcoin movement. Haven't reached the high of last week yet. Lots of volume there. But again, we can see where things were moving up decently for many, many days on that 2-day chart. And then we got a green spinning top showing us some indecision. Then, of course, turning red on this first day of the latest 2-day candle. Volume red also. We'll keep an eye on things. And, you can see we're almost up to average volume there. Now, so above average volume this week on the weekly chart. So what's Bitcoin up to? We'll get a little bit better feel for what's going on tomorrow. But pulling back 4.16%. Of course, yesterday, decent day. And then Bitcoin takes most of it back. So we'll keep an eye on things as we continue to push and pull forward. We'll always love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, cw@chartingwealth.com. If you appreciate what we do, follow the link to our Patreon page. Become a Patreon member. First thing we'll send you, first thing you'll get in the Welcome Aboard email is our 3-part series, Options Made Simple, The Charting Wealth Way. That's worth 5 years of membership at any of the 3 levels. That alone. So consider supporting us. Help underwrite the work we do here for free for thousands each and every day. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.